Hey, Cailen Ascher, founder of Life+, Biz here, and this past weekend, my husband and I and our baby daughter visited with some really good friends of ours in their beautifully remodeled home. And as we chatted and exchanged new parent stories, I had this little nagging voice in the back of my head that kept saying oh my gosh, this place is huge, it's so beautiful, they have a brand new kitchen. I can't even imagine what they thought when they visited our place back in the summer and they saw how pulled apart it was because we were in the middle of a very hands-on remodel. We wouldn't have the luxury of hiring tons of designers and helpers. And as I was simultaneously so very happy for them and all that they had accomplished and all that was going right in their life, I felt myself kind of coveting in some ways their seemingly posh lifestyle and all the amenities and luxuries that they had in their home and in their life. And to top it all off, which kind of put a little bit of salt in the wound, they are enjoying this luxurious lifestyle because of an entrepreneurial venture. The husband has built an extremely successful business at 28 years old, and he's actually planning on selling it soon and probably won't have to do much work from then on out. So it harder even than maybe for someone else who's just showing up. But for me, I kind of felt like, what am I doing wrong in my business that I'm not at that place? Like, what's not happening for me that's happening for them? And I felt that, I don't want to say jealous because it wasn't quite that strong, but definitely I had that, nagging voice in the back of my mind kind of talking me down as it was admiring all that they had. But I'm always reminded that as much as I might be looking in that direction, thinking about all the amazing stuff that they've got going on in their life, I'm not seeing the whole picture. Of course, we never are. It's just our perception. And also, there's probably people who are looking in at what's going on in my life and my business and feeling the same way. So we're always in that place of transition. And today, I want to share with you some tips that I am obviously currently working with to help me deal with that uncomfortable restlessness that arises when we are confronted with a situation like this and we find ourselves thinking, I'm not where I should be in my life and my business. And so I have 4 of them for you today, and we'll move through them now. The first thing is to remember it's all perception. And even though a yoga business maven that you're looking at, or a yoga teacher, or an entrepreneur might seem to have it all figured out, that is just your perception of her. You see the mom at the park with the beautifully coiffed hair and the polite children, and you think, oh, she has it all together, she has it all figured out, as you're still in your yoga clothes with your kids running amok. But if you walked a mile in her shoes, or if you stepped onto her yoga mat, to use a yoga analogy, I guarantee you would undoubtedly see that there are plenty of areas in her life that she is dealing with, that she wishes would change, or that she wishes would be different. And if you really stepped into her life, you probably wouldn't want to trade her for what you've got going on in your own life. And number 2, this is another tip, and I kind of alluded to it in the intro, is to look the other way. We might be spending so much time and focus looking at that person who seems to have it all and wishfully gazing in their direction, thinking that they have it all figured out and they have so many wonderful things in their life and their business. But if you just turned in the other direction, you'd probably see people looking adoringly in your direction and wishing that they could have what you have in your life and the amazing things that are happening for you at this time. And again, to use another kind of yoga metaphor, if you're on your mat, you can be looking at the yogi next to you who's moving into these beautiful postures so gracefully that you could, only get into with a hope and a prayer. But yet, on the other side of you, there's maybe a beginner who's looking at you thinking your practice is so beautiful and advanced. So again, it just comes back to that sense that it's all in how we're perceiving things. There's no real ultimate truth to it. We're never seeing the whole picture. And number 3, it kind of leads into that our lives and our businesses are a journey. They're not a destination. And all too often we put off happiness for when we get there or accomplish that or have this. But happiness is really just a daily choice. It's how we choose to show up in our lives, in our businesses, how we choose to interact with our friends and our family. And you can wait until those external circumstances come about for you. But by the time they do or when they do, they're probably not going to feel as exactly as you imagined that they would. And once you're at that point, you're probably going to be looking ahead to a point further in the distance. So you're always playing catch up with your dreams. So it's so much better to cultivate gratitude and try to be happy with what you have right here and now, knowing that everything can change in the blink of an eye, for better or for worse. And lastly, this is something I like to tell myself when I find that I'm in a situation like I was this past weekend, and looking at all that they have and the beautiful home and business and all the designer furniture that fills every room, is that it's just a preview of life's coming attractions. You're taught in the Buddhist tradition that karma draws things into your life. And so if you're seeing people in your life that you care about, that you like, and that you know, having things that you wish for yourself, a successful business, a new relationship, an amazing home, a new car, whatever it is for you that you're hoping, if you're seeing it manifest for other people, it means it's that much closer to coming true for you. Everything around us is energy, and the universe brings things into our lives as we're ready for them. So if you see someone or a family having things that you wish your family had, or a business owner doing things in her business that you could only dream of someday doing, realize that the only way you can see it is if it can be your reality too. So just view those amazing things, those beautiful things that other people have in their lives as sort of a preview of life's coming attractions. It's just down the pipeline for you. It's just out of reach, and you're getting a little preview of it, a little taste, by seeing it come true for other people in your life. So I hope that these strategies are helpful for you. Like I said, they're ones that I'm currently working with in my life and my business. This stuff, we're never over and done with it. We think we've got it all figured out. We've got a real handle on what's going on in our life and our business, and then we're thrown a curveball. And so we have to keep finding our way and coming back to it. And if you find yourself in a situation like I was, where these little pangs of jealousy, these little self-nagging thoughts, self-put-downs come into your mind, and you're thinking, why don't I have that? Why am I not better at this? Why isn't my business doing more remarkable things in this world? Just remember that we're all in transition, and as much as you might be looking at those people, there are people looking at you and thinking that you're so very beautiful and so very fortunate in your life and business. And as always, for more business and marketing and life advice just for yogic entrepreneurs, head on over to CalenBiz.com, and I will see you there.